show that a little bit. If they want to join live, they can go to Love Sync on Facebook, or they can click on that right there as a guest and jump on. Then they can also go to Be Live and do the same thing and be part of the Be Live Facebook community. All righty. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. I don't want to love nobody but you. That's what Kirk Franklin is saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to love nobody but God, because as our foundation of scripture says, 1 John 4:8, he that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. So that's why we don't want to love nobody but him, because we know that he loves us better than anybody else would love us, and we should love ourselves the same way that God loves us. So if you guys want to be part of the show, part of the action, make sure you go to Facebook and go to Love Sync Ministry. There's a space between love and sync. Go to Love Sync Ministry so you can join us right here on Facebook. Excuse me. And also, I would like you guys to go over to the YouTube page. I keep forgetting about the YouTube page. It downloads on the YouTube page tomorrow. So if you miss it or can't see it on Facebook, then go to YouTube. Go to Love Sync Ministries on YouTube, but this time Love Sync is just one word. So go check us out on Love Sync. You can watch all the videos over there. As they always say, subscribe, hit the like button. Let's get this party started on YouTube. So then that way you have two ways to watching it, Facebook and you to the tube. So I want to go ahead and get ready to bring on my special guest today, ladies and gentlemen. Been knowing him for a little while. He is a songwriter, a singer of praise and worship. When we had a Love Sync meeting, we had him come out and do a little praise and worship for us. The crowd loved it, and we loved him for doing it. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for my main man, Mr. Chase Turnbull. There you go. I knew he was gonna pop up sooner or later. All right, y'all can shut up. That's enough hand clapping. You're gonna make his head look big. All right, there you go. So what's going on, my friend?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, you know I can't have a show without you, man. Come on, man. You know better than that. So to get everything kicking off, I like to ask some quick questions to get the blood flowing and stuff, and everything good to go. Get your mind going. So first off, I want to ask you, where were you born?
I was born here in Texas, Arlington, Texas. So born and raised a cowboy here.
Oh, okay.
Well, so more on the Dallas Cowboy football team side than actual cowboy side.
Oh, okay, I got it. All right. So real quick, what's your favorite pastime or hobby?
Well, lately it's been playing video games. Being in quarantine, you know, not going out too often. You got to figure out some fun stuff to do at home.
Right, exactly. And your wife around?
Yeah, she's here probably for the next 10 minutes before she has to head off to work. She's probably doing her makeup or something.
I'm going, okay, but she's not in the room with you, is she?
No.
Okay, I can ask you this question then. Who was your high school crush?
Oh, she actually was my high school.
What?
Yeah. We dated when I was a sophomore. Is when we started dating.
Okay, cool. So let me ask you this then. What is your favorite food and drink?
My favorite food is sushi, and my favorite drink. Oh man, there's so many of them. But I guess Dr. Pepper would be. Like if I'm gonna go to a restaurant or something and just get any old drink, that's gonna be Dr. Pepper. I mean that shows the Texas in me.
Dr. Pepper and sushi. That's real Texas. I got you. All right. Okay, and what would be your favorite decade to live in?
Whew. Man, I gotta say this decade. I mean, I like this decade the best because of all the technology. Um, Man, I don't know if I could give up like all the things that we have today as far as just the quality of life with cell phones and the list goes on. So I gotta live in the decade that I'm currently in. I'm happy with it.
All right, I got you. I got you. Okay, then. So now let me get into my question that I ask everyone. So, first question, since this is Love Sessions, aka God Session, and it's all about Him and His love for us and our love for Him. So, let me ask you, like I asked everyone else, when did you first get saved?
I first got saved very early in life. I was a baby, and I feel like I really had an encounter with God very young. I would say about 5 or 6 years old is when I really just decided, that this is real and this is something that I want to, God is who I want to pursue, and His way is the best way. Now there was, it was always a journey. It was never just like for my entire life since then, just been perfect. And just, there's been all kinds of bumps in the road and lots of discoveries along the way. But, like another big foundational moment was when I was a teenager, about 14 or 15 years old. I had another like encounter with God, I'd say that was a huge milestone in my life where, again, it was like I just had like a deeper realization of who God was and what Christianity was all about. And there's been several times milestones where I've kind of just been able to just focus more on God, learn more about God, and just discover more about who He is for my life and why He's so important.
Okay, so that means you basically been in church or saved your whole life. So doing like elementary school, junior high, high school. So everybody knew or AKA call you the church boy.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. I was never really ashamed about it or like uncomfortable sharing. Like, I'm just like, yeah, I go to church. You feel free to come with me if you want to, type of thing. But yeah, I would say my friends definitely knew me as the church boy.
Uh-huh. So now, like I said, so those are, like I said, those are trying times going through school, especially at a young age, and everybody know that you go to church and and you're serving God and everything. So did you find a lot of people or even your peers always trying to get you to do something to test to see how dedicated you were to your faith?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say middle school was the worst, and high school not as much, but in middle school it was very rough as far as just people wanted to push my buttons a lot to see, like, to get me mad, for instance, or they would just kind of or they do silly things like, hey, say this cuss word, come on, you can say the cuss word. Like, no, I can't say all those bad words. There's silly stuff like that as well. But yeah, there was a lot of trying moments, especially early on, where once people know that you're a Christian and you stand for something in particular, um, they hold you to a different standard. They're waiting to see if you're going to mess up because they want to discredit maybe some of their disbelief. They want to be able to point to you and go, see, he or she is no different than I am. I don't need God. I don't need Jesus. They're you know, they call themselves Christians, but they're all the same. They all, you know, claim one thing, but act the same as the rest of the world, or, you know, they don't have anything different than me. So why would I spend my time going to church or reading an old book called the Bible, you know? So yeah, there was definitely times where, you know, I was just being looked at different, like, you know, you're kind of weird. You do something we don't, and you speak and say things and act certain ways that we don't. So
Yeah.
it was
So, and
definitely difficult early on, and I learned a lot of lessons then. I learned so many lessons. Whew.
so then you said it was like that in the younger days. So what happened then when you get to high school? Was it that you run into now there's more kids that serving God too, and so you had, you know, you had a little team together, so it wasn't as bad as it was.
Yeah, in high school, I was very distant from all the kids in my high school. Like I wasn't, I never had like a friend in high school that I would hang out with all the time, but I was definitely very involved in my high school where everyone like knew who I was, and you know what, like I knew everyone, but I wasn't like, I didn't have a lot of like really good friends from my actual high school, but there was it definitely was more open in high school as far as there was prayer meetings and different Bible studies that were hosted by various members there at the high school. So it wasn't so you know, looked down upon, or like people didn't think Christianity was weird at that point, at least the school that I went to. I think because, you know, some of the popular kids were Christians and said they were Christian. So if you're popular and say you're Christian, then it kind of creates a domino effect within the school. So which is really powerful. So if you're young and you're popular in high school, then and you're a Christian, be sure you're a loud Christian, because it really can create a domino effect in your school when people see that, oh man, this cool guy, or this not socially awkward person that's a Christian, you know, that they're cool and they're a Christian, and they're not afraid to express their Christianity. I think that's huge, and that's what I experienced in high school. And then beyond that, like my best friends were always in the church youth group, and that is kind of foundationally where my my faith was strengthened, was in the youth group of all those years. That's where I developed a love for worship and worship music, and that's where I started playing guitar on the worship team. And you know, it was like every Wednesday night, I was there singing, doing worship music, playing guitar, and almost every Sunday morning I was playing guitar, and almost every day throughout the week I was practicing different worship songs, and that's where I really developed a love for musical worship.
Okay, so now, how was it then? Because I don't know too many people like, you know, the rest of us heathens in high school just doing what we do, you know. But so now, how was it then in high school being a Christian, and then how was the dating scene? How did that dynamic work out? Was it hard to talk to girls, or were girls like, I don't want to talk to you because you're a Christian? You know, how did that work out in high school as being a Christian high schooler?
Well, I would say for me personally, I was pretty socially awkward in high school, and so I didn't really talk to many girls. And if I tried to, then I probably came off really weird and just off-putting. So that wasn't a big thing for me. But when I talked to Megan, my wife now, at the time, I remember my first kind of conversation, my first intentional conversation where I was like, ooh, I kind of like this girl. I'm going to go, you know, talk to her a little bit. And it was actually, we were both in choir in church, and, you know, we were practicing for the Sunday set in our little choir. And there was a break in the practice where I had a little bit of time. So I went to make my move. I was like, oh, I'm going to go talk to this girl. But I think in the church, the biggest thing was in the youth group, we were raised up in we talked about relationships a lot and how guys and girls should talk and how guys should treat women. And so I think we learned that early on, to where the few interactions that I did have with girls, I definitely was trying to approach it from a very respectful manner. And, but there are so few, because I was basically scared of girls.
Okay. So wasn't the old high school kissy feely touchy stuff going on then, huh?
No, not so much.
You're
that would have terrified me.
Behind the 8 ball then. No, that's a good thing. That's a good thing though, because my thing is, everybody is in such a rush to hang with the crowd as far as dating and kissing and having sex and all that kind of stuff, that they don't think about the consequences of anything that's going to go on, or how it's going to go down, or even later on in life, how that affects you in your relationship, not with just the girl, but your relationship with God and everything. And we just put all that out the way because we're trying to hang with our peers and what we do.
Yeah, and there definitely was pressures in high school where, especially everyone talks about like the locker room of the football team and stuff like that. Like there was always those times where guys were just cutting up and talking about, what girl have you been with? What girl have you been with? And how far have you gone? And there was kind of a badge of honor, like, well, I've done this with that girl and I did that with this girl. And so there was definitely this pressure of like, hey, you're kind of weird if you're not getting out there and exploring all the things with all the girls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly it. So with all that being said, and you started dating Megan in high school, so how did, as your maturation in Christ start? So you was with her in high school. Now, did y'all go to college together, separate colleges, or no college, or what?
No college. I did go and take some courses, but I never finished a degree.
Mm-hmm.
And then she, there for a bit, was pursuing an acting career. Mm-hmm. And so she was doing all kinds of movie roles and TV commercials and print ads. So she went so in our college years, when I was going to college, she went and was taking acting classes and went out to California, moved there for 2 years. And so our college years were spent very trying, as far as we had a long distance relationship there for 2 years. So every 6 months or so, we'd see each other in person, but the rest was a lot of conversations, a lot of long distance. We had to get to know each other in a way that was through communication.
Okay. So now, how long you guys been married now?
We've been married now for 5 years. We just had our 5th year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now, like I said, you've been together through high school. You've been together, long distance relationship. You're married. And so now, how, I ask all the men, so how did your walk with God help you through those times in your marriage? Because like I said, you're bringing 2 different attitudes, 2 different cultures, 2 different everything. And when I say culture, I mean, she was raised one way, you were raised a different way. So you're bringing all that now under one roof. And now there's going to be some misunderstandings, some miscommunications and all that kind of stuff. So how do you feel that your walk with God helped you through those times?
I think the patience of God was a lot, and just like the understanding of God, and also just being able to put a person and like their thinking or their position higher than, you know, my own understanding. Uh, just like the idea of patience and treating a person like you'd want to be treated. So kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt no matter what, and finding, even if there's a disagreement, listening to the other person. And you know, there's plenty of times where we had disagreements or arguments that we just didn't see eye to eye on. But I think the patience and understanding, you know, that God has is really where, um, you know, putting Him first in our relationship was huge, because uh, there were so many times where I felt justified in what I said or what I did or my position on something. And uh, if I would have gone forward and just, you know, stuck to my guns and like, you know, this is what I feel like, and I don't care what you have to say, then that would have been really bad for our relationship. And it probably would have ended, especially in the time where we couldn't see each other or have any kind of physical interaction, where she was living in California and I was in Texas. So we had to be very intentional and careful about the words that we said and the things that we chose to say to each other, because there was no physical interaction. So our words became increasingly important. You know, because there would be times where we would talk and then a day would go by or 2 days would go by because we just got busy where we couldn't talk. So ending off with an argument or a disagreement or just something that didn't feel right was not okay with me, and it wasn't okay with her. We just decided that, you know, we have, if we have an argument, we have to deal with it. We have to figure it out, and we can't just grow bitter towards each other. Instead, we have to be open and honest with each other. And you know, great communication is important.
Well, let me ask you this: since there wasn't a whole lot of touchy-feely, kissy stuff going on, do you think, and then with y'all guys, you know, Texas, California, do you think the more of getting to know one another, talking to one another, trying to get an understanding of one another, kind of helped you more in your marriage versus, you know, like a lot of kids, high school sweethearts, they're having sex, have the pregnant scare and all this other kind of stuff. So do you think just waiting, just the talking, to getting to know one another help your marriage better than, you know, all the other stuff that comes along with it?
I do. I think it was like, it sucked. I mean, I wasn't happy about having a long distance relationship. It wasn't fun, but we both had a mutual decision, like, we were in the right place at the right time. But looking back, I do think the communication and just like, we had to talk, we had to get to know each other on that level through communication. I think that really did develop and strengthen our relationship.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, because I think that's what happens. A lot of people get into, you know, the touchy-feely stuff first, and then that kind of messes up their thinking of how stuff should or would go, you know, as far as their relationship go, because they've already muddied the waters with sex versus getting to know one another, truly understanding one another before they get married. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I can see that.
I asked you that question because, like I said, I don't know. I haven't run into too many high school sweethearts and then still together and then actually, you know, walk the walk of Christianity at the same time. So that's good stuff that you let everybody know on that end. All right. So since I got into all your personal business, now let me go ahead and get into your business. So what's going on right here, sir?
So that picture is a screen capture that was taken from a business networking meeting that I was attending. during COVID, business has just been different for people. And a lot of businesses have struggled. A lot of businesses have just gone out of business. And one way that I've been able to, get in front of people still is through the power of technology. I mean, what we're doing right now, we're in completely different locations, but we're still able to see each other face to face and communicate. So that particular picture was a online networking meeting where there was about 60 business professionals, either business owners or in different industries like real estate, law, the list goes on. And we came together to find out how we could give referrals to each other and how we could develop each other's business and also to encourage each other to, hey, we're all feeling the same here, that this stuff is rough. It's rough on our lives and it's rough on our businesses. So that was one way to get everyone together and still have that sense of community in the business world, even though we're not able to see each other face to face.
Okay, well then tell everybody exactly what do you do? What is your business?
Well, I do video production. So I do marketing videos for all kinds of businesses, mostly in the Dallas area. So when you need a good TV commercial or an online video for your website, businesses will call me to completely develop that video, going from scripting or getting an actor to filming and editing and releasing a final product.
Okay, great. Well, if that's the case, if anybody need to get a hold of you so they can get a commercial done, how can they do that?
Go to my website. It's chasemefilms.com. We say we do video production for videos or for stories worth chasing. So chasemefilms.com, and there's a contact page there.
All right, great. So hey, if y'all need a video done for your business or just for anything, could be, well, I know you say you do basically businesses. Have you ever done a like a music video type thing, or can you?
I haven't done any music videos. I haven't been into that space. So yeah, I would say no on that. But yeah, if you need something to promote your business, that's kind of my specialty.
There you go, promote that business. And if you pay him enough money, he'll do a music video.
There you go.
Well, Chase, man, I sure appreciate you jumping on with me, brother. Man, I just thank you for being who you are, and I thank you for your praise and worship. So you still doing that, right? I know you have been.
I don't do it at my church currently, but I'm always doing praise and worship, kind of a mini sets behind the scenes. When I'm walking through the house, I was just singing some praise and worship songs. So it's always in my heart.
There you go. So ladies and gentlemen, there he is, my friend, Mr. Chase Turnbow. You guys make sure you check him out. Check out his Facebook. Check him out if you need a commercial done. Brother, you take care of yourself. You and your wife, be blessed and stay safe.
All right. You too. Thanks, Daryl.
All right, man.
Take care.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was my man Chase right there. You check him out if you need any type of commercial videos done, and he will help you out. Again, you can check this out here on Facebook, and you can also go to Love Sync Ministries, just like it's spelled back there, all one word, Love Sync, and then Ministries on YouTube. Probably won't be out there until tomorrow, but when you do go to YouTube, make sure you subscribe, and you definitely hit the notifications if you're not out there, so you can know when the video is going to be public for you to look at. We're trying to go ahead and get this YouTube thing built up, and also on Facebook, start generating funds to give back to you, because we love giving back. So until next time, you guys take care. Continuously walk in love, and make sure that you show love, aka God, to everyone you meet, saved and unsaved, because you might be the only love that they've seen all day, all year. You never know. So that's why you have to constantly walk in love. Until next time, you guys take care. It's been Brother Don McGriff with Love Sync Ministries, and this has been Love Sync.